Hello, guys, welcome back, and today we're gonna be talking about Hollow's Heart. So, yeah, let's begin, shall we, ladies and gents? As we would go back to the scene from last episode, as we currently see Izuku as he's still looking at the what was known as the demon, as she would say, so the reason why I want you to stay here for a while is because I'm just sympathetic in a way. I was able to see through your memories, you see, seeing everything, including that of your dreams being crushed by your so called hero. Also, I also saw another memory of yours. That being, as before she can ask, Izuku would basically, grab onto her, getting ready to, to be to basically strike her. But before he can, he was blocked by the Amazoness, as she would say. Strong. Not bad, she would say. As she would be blocking the attack with her fist, as not Rex, I meant Izuku would just look at her as he would say, Get, get out of my way. Wait for a second. As the Amazoness would say, you're quite angry. Why is that, she would say. As the Demoness would say, please, enough of that, Lysandra. Actually, no, not Lysandra. That was just the slip of the tongue. That's going to be another, monster girl in this story. I meant, enough of that, Diana. Now, I'm really sorry about reopening old wounds, she would say. As the now somewhat pissed off, Chimera would say, can you please stop doing that to my husband? Said a somewhat annoyed Chimera, or more specifically her lion personality, as the snake personality would come up, as she would say, yes, I want you to stop doing that, she would say, as she would be, getting ready to her cause, as before she can, the Amazoness would say, sorry about that. I would rather not to. Besides, I'm already married, she would say. As after saying it, she would start going towards, the side of the demoness. As the demoness would say this, anyway. As the demoness would say, anyway, I'm pretty sorry for reopening old wounds. As a consolation, here, she would say, as she would give back Izuku's Zanpakuto Diablos, or Los Diablos. As Izuku would grab it, he would say, now, as he would start feeling himself getting weaker and weaker. As when they noticed it, the Chimera would say, as the goat, side of her personality would say, honey, are you okay? She would say, as Izuku would just say, I am not your honey or whatever you call me. I made, I made more. As Izuku would be on the ground, as you'd say, I need more Ryoko, you would say, as he's completely, well, he's more paler than usual. I mean, he's already pale, especially in the, the, when I made him in, Gotcha Club too. I meant Gotcha Life too, but still, as when saying this, the woman would say this, being that of the demoness would say, I see. So this Ryoko, though I'm not too enthused about that ability considering what I saw in your memories, I think it's better for you to try and get that back. So, here, she would say, as she would snap her fingers, as a few, monongas, or, demon, or not really demons, but more like, just regular old, monster girls, some random ones, would start setting up some sort of food in, what do you call it? Would start setting up a feast filled with different types of meats and other such, foods. As she would go down from her throne, as she would go sit down. As she would say, "Come," she would say. As when Izuku saw this, he would say, "What if I. Fine." Uh, as when saying this, the Chimera would say, "Hey, um, should I," as he would say, "Don't touch me," he would say, obviously annoyed, as he would start moving towards one of these seats. Doing so, a, you know, random monster girl would say, "Here, sir," said a somewhat timid dog looking monster girl. It definitely looks somewhat, dog like, as you'd say, nothing. Obviously, he doesn't want to talk to them. As he would sit down, as he would grab a load of food, almost literally filling up the entire, plate, as he would start chowing down. As while doing this, he would start feeling his body start absorbing the Ryoku from the food, which was surprising to him. As he would say, "What? I thought this is incredible. Why is my Ryoko coming back for just simple food?" As while he was eating, the demoness would say, "Surprised? Though it's quite disgusting how you use your abilities, especially that ability called, I believe it's called Gongsui, or at least that's what I remember in your memories." As Izuku looked towards her, as she would say, "Anyway, I'm just wanting to ask you this. I want you to stay with us for a while, and then you can leave with your, well, wife." As he would say this, "Like I said, she's not my whatever you call it. I just want to be left alone." And actually, as he would start remembering his time in Las Noches, though it was somewhat tolerable, he just wanted to stay alone. Or at least somewhat. He wanted to be by his fellow, men. Because remember, he still pretty much, is that. As while saying this, the Chimera would say, "Hey, Izuku, do you don't," as he would say, "I said, I do need," as the serpent, half of her, or at least their serpent, personality would say, "What did you say?" she would say, as she would wrap her tail around his, neck, or more specifically, the snake, you know, bottom part, as she would say, "Remember, I saved you, and you're supposed to be with me," she would say, "and I wouldn't want my husband being near anybody else, or running away from me," she would say, as Izuku would start feeling terror, as he would say, "Fine, but I'm only doing this because of you." As saying this, she would say, "Fine then," said the somewhat, reluctant, not hollow, I meant the lion part. Though she was not really enthused about the methods that her snake half was doing, at least she will keep her, or their husband. As after saying this, Izuku would continue on eating. After finishing up the meal, the demoness would say, "Now, Mr. Izuku, I wanted to ask, are you fully healed up now?" Saying this, Izuku would notice some of his, body is no longer damaged from after using his resurrection. As he would say, "Yes, I'm planning to leave tomorrow." As after saying this, she would say, very well. Try not to hurt yourself, though. I wouldn't want you getting hurt. And before you leave, she would say, as she would bring up some sort of emblem, as after grabbing it, you would say, what is this? As she would say, oh, that is a emblem of the not vampire, of the demon line of succession. More specifically, it's a simple emblem that will allow you to go through monster, or more specifically, more monster related areas, or monster friendly areas. Remember, you're considered as, and I quote, a sort of incubus. Let's just say the order won't take kindly to that, she would say. As Izuku would say, then, actually, what is the order exactly, he would say. As she would say this, oh, it's simple. They're essentially just people that believed us monster girls are just here to eradicate their race. Though, it's not exactly wrong. As she would explain the whole plot of the Monster Girl Encyclopedia, which actually is kind of fucking sad to say the least. Essentially, apparently the original Demon Lord was bloodthirsty. Because of this, it caused multiple people to basically die and also suffer. Not only humans, but also monsters also suffered. But most importantly, a certain succubus. This succubus became friends with the hero known as Arthur, or I think it was Arthurius, or was it just Arthur? But still, anyway, as they became, or at least as he became the hero, they defeated the Demon Lord. But after this, they got betrayed by the Order, or at least what was the Proto Order, as they planned on basically erasing the entire demon and monster race entirely. But thanks to him essentially killing the original Demon Lord, the new Demon Lord, aka the Succubus, basically became the new Demon Lord and essentially turned every single monster into what it is today, aka the, oh boy, what we call as lecherous, to say the least. So, but the only problem is the chief god, as in the god that humanity essentially serves under, decided no thank you, and decided to essentially, if they were to just give birth to just if they were to actually get pregnant, the only thing that they actually give birth to is mostly just the same monster girl as their race, or just just any type of monster girl. Well, mostly, like, for example, let's just say like a succubus and a human, like that. They will just give birth to a succubus, like that. So they can only birth females, essentially killing off the human race. So yeah, after hearing that story, Ezekiel would say that, honestly, I feel awful for that. But still, as after hearing it, she would say, yes, the Demon Lord, the new Demon Lord, just wants to bring humans and monster girls together. But since the Chief God did that, it's been impossible. So, but with you, I believe that there's a way for us, for humans and monster girls to actually thrive. So please, help us. And after saying this, Izuku was still reluctant. Considering what was his past life, yeah, I guess you could say he was pretty much reluctant at this point. But let's just say his life would pretty much change at this point. And so, he would say this. And so, this would be the end of this episode. So, yeah. So, bye bye.